Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Adam Ratliff with Adam So Fun, and today we are talking about the Kallax Organizer bin, or the KX Organizer bin from ProStitcher.com. Last week we talked about stitching it out. This is a finished version, and yes, it does have the binding on. I know, shocking, just shocking. But today we're going to talk about stitching one with the blocks and then finishing it and actually having it done. It is huge. But before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you're notified when new videos drop. And go over and follow me on social media, Adam So Fun with an SEW on Facebook and Instagram, where you would have already seen pictures of my big Kallax organizer, and you would have seen it on my Facebook Live. So this is the organizer bin. Again, it is available as of now. It came out on January 1st. It's called the KX Organizer bin, and it does fit those Kallax shelves from Ikea. It is huge. I can't believe how big it is. I put this together. I was like, oh my gosh, it's freaking huge. There are directions to change it for some closet-made storage units and such in the instructions. If you're a member of ProStitcher.com, it is one membership download. If you're not, it is $20, but use code ASF10. ASF, like Adam So Fun 10. It'll save you 10% off the purchase. So that is my affiliate code. Let me just show you some of the stuff I have in here. Some fabric. Lots of more fabric. Lots of more fabric. A kit. Another kit. Another kit. Another kit. And a big panel. Tons of stuff fit in here. So these, like I said, these are really big pieces. I do want you to see, there's so much stuff on here. I do want you to see how it sits. So this is the version with the soft and stable, or soft and stable like. It's not soft and stable, I think it's the Pellon foam. But this is how it looks when it's sitting up. It is a square, but you can see it's rounded corners. We're going to talk about that when I finish this other one. So it can, stretch out and stuff, but it will fit in that square. So we stitched them out. You're going to see how to do the blocks in this video, and then we're going to go to the rest of it. I cut it out. The instructions say to cut an extra 1/4 inch on the top. I did not. I didn't care if I came down into the design. It's a box. I trimmed everything right outside the stitch line. So this is what you get right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow the instructions. I'm going to use 1/2 inch seam allowances. We are going to stitch these sides together. We're going to come in, and then we're going to have some Y seams, and we're going to finish the box. It was not hard. It was pretty easy. Even putting the binding on was super easy. I used my zigzag binding. If you want to see that, go to the Janome YouTube channel, and I guess it's probably Janome zigzag binding or triple stitch binding. I can't remember what the video is named, but a lot of people liked it because it has 150,000 views. So that's very cool. So yeah, so we're going to go over and jump to my Janome M8. I'm going to finish stitching this out. We're going to talk about some of these Y seams and some things that I found out that made it a little bit easier, and hopefully that translates over to you. So I'm going to move the camera, and we're going to jump over to my M8. But before we get into actually stitching it together, we have to finish stitching it on the long arm. I know I have it here. It's movie magic. One of the things we're going to talk about is how to do it with the squares. And we're also going to talk about this one happened to be upside down, so I had to flip it so everything was angled right. So all of that's going to be done. And then we're going to jump and start putting this together on my Janome M8. All right, so this is our quilt top. I want to just show you this. Let me zoom out. So this is the 4 boxes that it's stitched. There we are. And then where my needle is, well, let me see, I'm going to tighten this. This is the box that's going to be the bottom. And then this is the bottom of the box that's above us. So this is one that's rolled up, is the soft and stable, and it's done right side up. This is the one that we got to do upside down. This box really isn't gonna matter because ultimately it's on the bottom. And I think most of these are the square that we're gonna use is the square in the design. So I don't think it's gonna mess up, or I think it's not directional is the word I'm looking for. So let's see, file design open, and this is the block. We're going to use the Kallax, the KX best block, and then this is going to be the one that we're going to use to tile and put the name in, and then I'm going to decide what name we're going to put, and I'm probably going to say fat quarters, even though I probably won't keep fat quarters in it. I wish one said like kits. I could make that, but I don't have time. So we're going to say open. So this is our design we're going to do, and this is so easy. One, you have to decide on which piece is going to be your front. I think that we're going to zoom down again. I think I'm going to make this my front, and or my yeah, this is going to be my front piece. So that fold, this is going to be what everybody sees. So I'm going to put the cutout here so I can put my name tag on it, and then this block will be in the other four. So we're gonna do we'll do these two first. I don't feel like you need to see every single one because this is not a hard process. We're gonna ding 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 skew a bunch of times. So let's go up to our screen. We see we have our design open, and we have to first tell ProStitcher where we want it to stitch. We're going to go to the area tab. Now I'm going to be using multi-point, and you're going to see, I'm going to move you over some. There we go. You're going to see that, you can't see the top of the screen. There we go. All right, so we're in our area tab. I'm going to tilt you down. Let me think of what's going on. Let our stuff focus. And I have my sure foot on. It's not even the regular foot, it's the sure foot. When I make my areas on this, I'm going to come in 1/4 inch. So when I ding my areas, can you see? All right, so if you can see my foot, I have this is my sure foot. When I ding my marks, I'm not taking my laser light to the corner. So right here, you can see, oh, I guess I can zoom in. Dumb. Sometimes I forget. So right here, you can see that my needle is, or my laser light is in that corner. What I want to do is I want to bring my foot over, so the side of my foot is on my seam, and the back of my foot, the side of it, is on my seam, or my stitch line. So this is going to give me 1/4 inch buffer zone around the edge of this block. So now I'm going to hit multi-point, ding. So I will come down to my next point, and I'm going to do that same thing. There we are. Does it have to be perfect? No, we're going to use skew, and skew is going to make it look perfect. I'm going to come to my next one, and ding, and I'm hitting multi-point on my screen. Come to that last one. I'm going to hit ding. Now, let's zoom you out and bring you up. So now if I hit bottom house refresh, I can see that I have my block, or my box that I dinged around, and I have my block. And now it's as easy as going to modify, skew, skew. If I think it looks off a little bit, I can hit border skew and see if it changes. This is pretty square, so it's not going to change. It's going to be good. And I'm going to baseline that. That one's done. I don't have to rotate this. I don't have to do anything because it's symmetrical. Now, I'm going to go to my area tab and I hit clear. And I could stitch this out. I could just stitch this first one out and be done with it. I like to set up multiple before I stitch, so I'm at my area tab. I'm going to zoom out so we can see our second box. There we go. Area tab, and I'm going to multi-point around this one. Ding. 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 Now, let's bring you over next to our screen. So now I have my next block. Everything's ready. File design open. But in this one, I don't want to use that same block. I want to use this one down here. That's the flourish tile block. I'm going to hit, there we are, and open. Because see how this one has the square blocked out of it? Now I'm going to go to modify, skew, and skew. There we go. Let's baseline that. I think I forgot to baseline this one. Always baseline after a skew. I must have baselined because it didn't go back to its original spot. I don't remember hitting baseline here, but maybe I did. So now we're going to go to File, Design, Open, and we're going to put in the fat quarter label. So we're going to hit Open, and that fits right here. Remember, we're stitching upside down. The box is upside down. If I stick it like this, it's going to be upside down when we're done. So I'm going to go to Area, and this is just because this is the second one. I have my bottom facing up. So I'm going to go to my Modify tab because I want to turn this around. And I'm going to go to Rotate. And I'm not going to flip it because then it'd be backwards. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate it until it's all the way around. Oops, I went one too far. There we go. And now I'm going to try to use a line. We have it. We have an area. We skewed the box into it. So this, if we go to a line in the ribbon to modify a line, and over here I hit center, it should put it in there for me pretty good. I'm going to zoom in, and I can see that there's some overlapping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say resize. I'm going to turn on my lock. And because we've told ProStitcher put this in the center of that with the line, this is never going to move. It's going to shrink from the center and hold it there. So I can shrink it down until it fits inside my box. And I like that. Once you like it, we're going to hit baseline. It's not letting me baseline, so let's see if I can do something. Because we're a little tight up here, but we have a little, no, I guess it's the same. I'm going to shrink it down one more time. There, it's a little tight at the top, so I can reposition. I can hit my nudge and just nudge it down until I like it. I like that. For some reason, it's not letting me baseline this design. I'm just going to leave it there. We're going to see if it moves. Hopefully it doesn't. Now, because this has a design sitting inside one, I'm going to stitch this first. And I think I'm going to stitch my outside. I'm going to stitch this, and then I'm going to stitch that, and then I'll stitch that. Now, I can actually come down here and hit Select Multiple, which is the arrow with the square. I have my flourish tile. I want my fat quarter design. I'm in my Workspace tab over on my sidebar. Here's my fat quarters. I'm going to hit my fat quarter. So now it's picked that up. We can see that jump. And then there's the flourish tile block. Oh, no, and then the best block is the other one. And now I have all three. I'm done with this tool. I'm going to turn it off. And now I can hit baseline. And now I'm going to stitch this out. So it's going to stitch this one, then this one, and then that one. That's how easy this is. You have 3 more blocks you have to stitch out. That's it. You just got to stitch all your blocks out. I'm going to go do this. We'll see you when it's done. I'm going to trim them according to directions, and then I'll meet you back here so we can sew them together. Alright, so those two are done. You can see we have our fat quarter emblem right here. Everything's looking good. I still have 3 more blocks to do because I have to do the bottom and the 2 sides. So again, it's area tab, ding, 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 using our foot to guide that 1/4 inch inside. Skewed it and stitch it out. So I'm going to go do that. I don't think you need to watch me do that. I'll see you when they're done. Alright everyone, here we are at my M8, and I'll bring you over for some of this. This first seam is not hard. The design is stitched out so you get this inner line and the outer line. Basically what I'm trying to do is, it says a 1/2 inch seam allowance. This should be a 1/2 inch. I didn't even measure it. Yeah, so this should be a 1/2 inch. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to come 1 stitch length inside of this line when I stitch everything. But I'm stitching on the lines, you know. So we're gonna close our piece first. Oops. We're gonna close our piece first. So right sides together. I'm just gonna line them up and I'm gonna stitch. I am stitching with a 2.5 stitch length. Again, your personal preference, whatever you want to do. I am not trying to be so like, oh my gosh, it has to be perfect. It's a Kallax Organizer bin. I'm just going to be throwing stuff into it. I just don't want it to fall apart. So let's see. I do have my AccuFeed foot in, so it's going to help pull everything right through my machine. And I like that this foot actually has kind of a visual for me. Now the directions say to stop a 1/2 inch in from the edge. I have intersections on my fabric, so I'm just gonna go to that intersection. That's where I'm gonna stop. I did not backstitch at the beginning, but I will backstitch at the end. And if I'm not perfect, what am I going to do? Not worry about it. There we are. And there's my cutter. And now I have made kind of the outside of my box. So now I'm going to go work with the other sides. I'm going to bring you around so you can see up close kind of where I'm lining things up. So we'll see you back here in a second. This is the intersection that we just did. And you'll see things don't line up perfect, and that's fine. This side of the design, I actually had to shrink because there were issues with, I had to resize it. So I think that's probably why it didn't line up perfect, but whatever. It is what it is. I am not worried. So this is my intersection. We want to bring the bottom up to that intersection. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this to look the best. There we go. So we want to bring this bottom up, and we want to start right here and right there where our seam is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this seam up, lay it flat. I can see where I stopped, and I'm going to line this fabric so this seam is in line with that seam. We're going to try to put everything right in line with each other. There we go. And I'm going to start sewing from here, keeping everything nice and flat. I'm going to use this stitched line as my guide. Let's see. This is the hard part because it's very bulky. Remember, this is the bottom of the bag. So, oh, you know what I can do? Let's open that seam up. Oh, much better. Not a fan of Y seams. Also not a fan of open seams. There we go. And put it down. Trying to get everything nice and straight. You can see that big puffy batting I used. Just puffing up. And I'm going to take a few stitches. And I'm going to backstitch on this one. The reason I'm backstitching here and I didn't on the top is this is the bottom of the bag. The top is going to be under a binding. So I don't have to worry as much up there. And we're just going to stitch. I have my line there. If I have to move and maneuver, I can use my hands to maneuver. There we go. When I get to end, oops, I can backstitch. Now I don't have to backstitch here necessarily because it's folded over. So that's that side. All right, so there's our first one. So now we're going to open it up. I'm going to jump to the opposite corner. We're going to sew to that folded corner again. And where's the opposite corner? There we are. So here's my down seam. Line these up. If you want, you can pin them. Again, it's an organizer bag, so I'm not worrying that much about it. I will open it all up. Get things lined up as needed. There we go. Under and I'm trying to drop my foot right at that intersection, or right at the corner. Or not my foot, my needle. I think I said foot. There we are. Get everything nice and ready to stitch. Take a few stitches, back stitch. And now I can fly through this one. Projects always get stuck up on my table, so I'm maneuvering things to get ready. Trim. Now this side is done, and we only have this one open mouth left to do. So this is where things are going to get a little bit tricky. So in our first corner, because we connected there, this has to pull, and we need these to line up straight. So we're gonna kind of open these, the seams to the right, so the seams to the left can come in, and I might pop in a wonder clip right here to hold some stuff together. I do use wonder clips sometimes. There we go. Line things up. Wonder clips on this project work much better than pins, because pins, trying to go through that soft and stable, or even this batting, it's not being perfect. So here's my other one. So basically, I just want to make sure, I pull all of this stuff out. I don't want to stitch any of the interior. So you'll see that I have this angle going off in the back. I can fold this over, and I'm going to start right where my threads are and then continue stitching down. Let me get my stiletto. You are going to have to force some things around in there. And again, this is the bottom, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Even if you gave it as a gift, that person's never going to look at it from under the bottom. And even if they do, they should just be grateful that you made them something. And if they're ungrateful, no more gifts. That's what I always say. When I get to this corner, I'm gonna pop this corner out so I can lay it as flat. I just want to make sure I'm not stitching on any of that other stuff. In a second, you'll be able to see where I'm ending because I have thread right there. There we go. And cut. And now the bottom of my bag is all sewn, and I can go off and do my binding. right, so that's it. Those are the hard Y seams. Now the bottom of my box is sewn. This side is fine. This is the side I stitched all the way up. Here's my little Y seam corner. Here's my other Y seam corner. One of them looks really good and one of them's the other one. And when I flip this out, I'll have another huge box. So this one doesn't have soft and stable in it. This is just poly puff matting. And you'll see that, I mean, it holds up really nice. It's almost holding up as nice as soft and stable. I mean, it definitely is easier and it's gonna stay crunched down. If you wanted to give it a little more structure, you could do a quick seam, whether it be on the interior or the exterior. No, I think you would have to do it on the outside. Let me think. If you just put I don't have fun thread it. I don't care. Let's just do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a kind of a 1/4 inch seam straight up this from the bottom. I'm not going all the way to the bottom seam. I'm just going right above it. Let's say like a 1/4 inch. And we're just going to kind of do a top stitch. Where's my 1/4 inch line? There we are. I don't have my normal foot on, so this is just winging it. Winging it. You know how I do? We're going to call this a decorative top stitching. So what I've done is I've built a channel. So if I do that around every side, now I would definitely put your binding on first. As I was stitching that, I was like, this is gonna mess up the binding process, and I'm gonna continue to do it for you because I love you guys. Let's see. There we are. Get in there. That's my 1/4 inch. There's where I want to start, and so you'll see that even just here, you'll see how much more stability just giving that little groove gives you. And when we quilted it, you know, I used my 1/4 inch foot to build in that buffer zone when I created my area. So now this perfect channel has no stitching in it. It worked really good on that side. This side has a little bit, but I would, like I said, I would do this probably after you put the binding on. You could still do it before you put the binding. When you put the binding on, you're just gonna have to lay this over on one side and stitch over it. So it's gonna be bent on one side. It doesn't really matter. Remember, it is just a box. I like the look of that. I'm gonna finish this, but I'm not gonna make you sit around with me. So I'm gonna finish this and we'll see you back here when it's done. All right, everyone, so those are the Kallax storage bins. I don't know why this one's so much taller, but it does still fit in the box. And I think, well, no, is it because it's sitting straight up? Did I do something wrong? I don't know. Who knows? At the end of the day, it's just a storage bin. So a few things. This is soft and stable. This is the Poly Puff from Quilter's Dream. But what I did is, you can see that this one sits a little more square. It also has the label on it, so I'm loving that. So what I did, remember we stitched in that channel. I did all 4 sides. I actually really like the look of this one so much better because it just gives it a little oomph, a little je ne sais quoi. Is that what did I use that right? I don't know. Again, I would do it after I put the binding on so that it goes all the way up to the top, because the top kind of rounds out a little bit because we just kind of folded it over. But either way, it's up to you. Even if you don't have a Kallax storage system, these are really nice bins. I mean, you can stick this anywhere. This would be great for laundry. I'm gonna put one in the gym, and we can throw our dirty towels into it, and then it can be a laundry basket. What a nice laundry basket. Oh my gosh, you could put some handles on it. Ugh, don't get me started. Now you're gonna see all these like Kallax bins. You're gonna be like, that's a Kallax bin. He just repurposed it. We can put some grommets in it. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. But these are the Kallax bins, soft and stable. This is an edge to edge with soft and stable. This one is blocks with a label, no label here. Both of them work. Both of them are great. These are great. If you have people going off to college, I don't know, great gifts, I think. Especially, just a trash bin. You could resize it, make it smaller, and do the same thing on a smaller scale. Just resize the whole design. I don't know. I'm excited to see what other things I can make. I just love that they're so big too. So these are the bins. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you're notified when new videos drop. Go follow me on social media, AdamSoFun with an SEW on Facebook and Instagram, where you would have already seen pictures of this. I'm gonna fill it up and I'm gonna go stick it into my Kallax system. I actually have a 4 cubby system, so I'm gonna put that in there. Oh, I could turn it on its side. I do have some fabric storage stuff from Best Craft Organizer in some of them, but I didn't get them for all of my boxes, or for all of my cubbies, so I'm gonna go put this in. We'll see you in the next one. And you know what I'm always saying, at the end of the day, it's just quilting or an organizer bin. Go have fun. It doesn't have to be perfect. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.